Right, I guess we'll start. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to the SynBIC AGM. Before we start, can I just check with everybody if you guys are happy to be recorded? If you're not happy to be recorded, just put it in your chat or unmute yourself and let us know. Okay, so I'm gonna assume recording is fine. Cool, so we'll proceed with a recording. And I guess the first thing to do in the AGM is the election presentations. So we'll start with that. So the first person on our list, so first we'll be allowing the events officers to give in their presentations. The first events officer to go would be Stephanie Wong, and she has a pre-recorded presentation, so I will be sharing it on my screen.
Hi.
Oh, sorry. Okay. All right.
Hi.
Can everyone see the shared screen?
Yep, I can see it at least.
Cool. So I'll just start the video now. Stephanie is here, so there will be an opportunity for questions after the video is finished.
Hi, I am Stephanie Wong, a first-year biochemistry student running for the position of Events Officer and Academic External Relations Officer. I am confident that my past leadership experience and extracurricular involvement prepared me well for this position. I am 100% committed to the activities I chose to participate in. In high school, I competed for 2 years in regional level choir competition. We often had practice and rehearsals on holidays and after school hours. At the same time, I was taking a living national exam equivalent to the IGCSE exam here. This would not have been possible without high self discipline and being extremely focused on the team and personal goals. I will carry over the same drive and work ethic to serve as the event officer and academic external relation officer to consistently plan and organize successful events and meaningful engagement. I wish to include ideas and feedback from students other than our own committee members in the effort to continuously improve our events. Being a treasurer in a classroom of 49, I was the first in my class in 5 years of high school to involve students in a discussion on spending. I often let students vote for the amount of spending they think is reasonable for an event. With the participation and voices of all students, I was able to cut down approximately 400 unnecessary spending, and the money saved was all refunded to the students at the end of the year. I would use the same approach when it comes to organizing events, specifically on the topics of talks. I will create a list of topics and conduct a poll to gauge the interest of members and potential members. The topics in the first place will not only have to be specific and clear, but also eye catching to cater to the interests of different groups of individuals, as mentioned in my manifesto. The goal is to allow cross departmental collaboration and dissemination of our events to students that are not yet a synthetic biology SOC member who might be interested in this interdisciplinary field. Some background on the speakers, topics, and details on what will be covered in the talks will be included so participants have an idea of what they will be getting out of these talks before they vote for the talks they are most interested in. Follow-up emails to gather feedback on the talks and suggestions for future events should be sent to the participants. Both voting and surveys could be done using online tools such as Google Forms and SurveyMonkey. Having attended schools both in suburban and urban areas, I have had first-hand experience of the drastic difference in opportunities and resources to explore different scientific areas. We never had foreign speakers or any researchers coming to our suburban school to give talks, let alone hands-on experiments outside of our curriculum. And yet, a lot of my classmates in my urban school were hesitant to attend talks and seminars from world-renowned universities. I have taken every opportunity I have to participate in talks, science fairs, workshops, field trips, and so on. I've gained a general idea of the kinds of activities that are possible for high school students and is also applicable for undergrad students. Finally, just to repeat from my manifesto, my main goal is outreach, and through the positions of events officer and academic external relations officer, I will be able to achieve it. Lastly, thank you very much for watching, and please vote for me. Bye bye.
All right, cool. So does anyone have any questions for Stephanie? Wait, let me just stop sharing my screen first.
Hi, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
So I just wanted to ask, I noticed you applied to a few different positions. What are the positions that you would be most interested in filling?
I just think I kind of lean more towards the academic side, if you can tell, because I talk a lot about academic.
Thank you.
So I have a question. So you mentioned that the outreach is one of your interests.
Yeah.
So how would you suggest we sort of like incorporate our members in sort of that outreach program, or is it just mainly something that a committee does? Because ultimately we are a university society and we want to involve our members in sort of whatever we're doing. So how would you sort of suggest that?
Okay, actually, I was involved myself. If you have read my manifesto, I was involved in like a volunteering. I wasn't really a member, but then there is a flyer like saying that who wants to volunteer and something like that. So maybe we could like do the same thing, like asking for volunteers outside of our SynBIC society, because like all of our students are STEM student, right? So I don't think there's any like huge problem with them trying to like grasp the new knowledge, because it's almost the same field.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
So do you mean in terms of the types of people that we would be targeting as audience members?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Some great ideas there. So does anyone have any final questions for Stephanie? If not, I guess we'll proceed. Thank you very much, Stephanie.
Thank you. And I'll go now because it's like 2 a.m.
That's fair. All right.
Yeah. So good luck to the other nominees, and I'll just leave now and have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I actually have a question for the president. So when it comes to the applications, that's the one we submitted on the e-voting site, but is it possible to apply for different positions, or is that the state of the art? How does it work for people who haven't applied through the website?
So right now, at this point, you can't sort of apply for other positions, other committee positions, unless you've already applied for them through the e-voting website. However, if there are any unfilled positions by the end of today, then we can discuss starting an EGM, which would be a separate process to today's process. And the union will be giving out guidance on what we need to do then. But yeah, for now, we don't really know what form the EGM would take, or we sort of have an idea of what will happen there, but we don't have a fixed sort of like voting method or anything like that for now.
And that is what's definitely going to happen, because quite a few positions aren't.
Yeah.
unfulfilled.
So
All right.
it is extremely likely that we will be holding an EGM probably in the summer term or in the April term, or sorry, in the spring break. Yeah. All right, cool. So the next presentation will be by Pia.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
And see me, hopefully?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So my name is Pia and I'm a first year biochemistry student. And like all of you, I love learning about all interesting synthetic biology facts. And what better way to do that than by inviting speakers with firsthand experience in the field to our events as the Synthetic Biology Society events officer. So you might ask, why me? So I have great organizational skills, which I have gained as the head of a year-long volunteer project, as well as a co-organizer of a science TED Talk event at my high school. And part of my role as this co-organizer of the TED Talk event, it was to contact scientists from all around my country to present their research. And I believe that this experience gives me the necessary skills needed to become an excellent events officer. Moreover, as an academic representative of the year one biochemistry cohort, I have developed great communication skills that I will be able to apply when interacting with other society members, as well as when contacting different presenters and scientists. So my goals, if elected as your events officer, would be to continue with the events that Synthetic Biology Society is currently holding that we all love to attend, such as iGEM and other like hackathons and other talks. I would also aim to invite as many speakers from different areas of synthetic biology, because it's such a broad field, to give us all a better understanding of the entire field. Also, I would aim to contact speakers both from Imperial as well as other universities to present their research. And also invite speakers from other fields to that integrate synthetic biology in their work, so we could learn how synthetic biology can be applied in other fields. And as of course, I would take into consideration any idea for an event or speaker proposed by any member of the Synthetic Biology Society. So thanks for listening, and I hope I have your vote.
Awesome. Thank you, Pia. So any questions?
Yeah, I'd like to ask a quick question. So, in particular, I'm curious about how you'd work with the seminar series. Do you have any certain orientation for speaker selection? Do you have some people in mind already that you'd like to have talk?
Currently, I'm from the top of my head. I don't have any names, but I would definitely. So the way because I have experience contacting like different scientists. And what I would do is definitely research what is currently happening in the field. And then I would contact these scientists or these professionals. They usually have like an email, like public email that that I would definitely write them, and then I would just like hear what they have to say about it, maybe propose what kind of collaboration we can do. And I think that would be like a great opportunity for all of us to hear exactly like what is happening in the field now, and not what was happening, for example, 5 years ago.
Great, thank you.
No problem.
Cool. So I have a question. So you mentioned that you want to get sort of speakers from a wider range of subfields within synthetic biology as well as in other fields. So in our sort of existing sort of seminar series, what sort of subfields of synthetic biology or fields that are sort of neighboring synthetic biology would you feel are sort of underserved in your opinion?
I think so. There's a lot of like we tend to stick to like life sciences, right? Because that's like the most connected to synthetic, because synthetic biology is life sciences, of course. And I would try to find like areas that outside life sciences, so maybe like physics. I know there was a lot of engineering as well, a lot of like talks already on engineering, and I think this is extremely beneficial because we can show like people that are not necessarily studying life sciences, that how synthetic biology is integrated into their field and how it's useful in many fields, not only in life sciences.
I think that's a great idea. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right. Are there any final questions for Pia? If not, I guess I'll proceed to our next candidate. Thank you very much, Pia.
Thank you.
All right. So the next candidate is Dana.
Hi. Also, it's Dana, not Dana.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dana.
Sorry for the strange lighting. Don't really have a way of improving that. Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Could you give me the permission to share my screen, please?
Yes, that is actually correct. I'm sorry. All right. Can you try it now?
Yes, perfect. Can I just check that you can see the screen change?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, hi everyone, I'm Dana, a second-year microbiology student.
I'm sorry, Dana. Actually, what we're seeing is sort of your notes rather than the slides themselves.
If I do that again.
So it was fine for a bit there. Yeah, that looks fine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry. Let's begin again. So I'm Dana, a second-year microbiology student. And I am running for events officer for SynBIO, mainly to ensure that all members can have memorable university experience while participating in events focusing on synthetic biology. So originally I applied to to Imperial because I was fascinated with synthetic biology. I knew that third year will have synthetic biology, and so I was really excited to apply. But unfortunately, my microbiology course has very little relevant content to synthetic biology. So I wanted to organize a bunch of amazing events for everyone to enjoy. So my main three goals would be to always ensure that all students have access to SynBIO content, regardless of the year they are in, and ensure that all events are interactive. So for Journal Club, the main idea is to find a paper or some fundamental for synthetic biology paper and discuss it in a very friendly environment. To challenge the members, I want to organize a biohackathon. So I always found it really weird, but really fascinating how people have different ideas and views for the same topic. And so I believe that this is a great opportunity to build a network and to brainstorm ideas and concepts to try and solve some sort of problem by approaching it from different angles. I'm sure you've heard this a lot, but synthetic biology is an interdisciplinary field. Learning from other fields is always beneficial. Due to the current situation, we cannot organize any lab sessions, but we can collaborate with other societies. I aim to organize more data analysis sessions, such as using R or FlowJo workshops for extra support during our courses. And finally, no society is complete without guest speakers. I aim to invite diverse speakers. So now that we are remote, it is much easier to invite overseas speakers, which could be a great opportunity to find out more about sciences in other countries, such as Germany, or any other country that I could find or anyone would like to suggest. Now that we are remote, it is also quite easy to invite BKG speakers. And I think it would be really useful for undergrads to have some sort of idea of what a PhD entails. And therefore, it would be easier to choose what we want to do next with our life. I aim to organize.
Hi, Dana. Sorry. Just a time reminder, you have 30 seconds, but I stopped the time and I'll just start it again once you continue again.
I aim to organize at least these 4 events, but I am always open to any suggestions and will be more than happy to collaborate to bring new ideas to life. Would you like to ask any questions?
Hey, what kind of activities would you have at a biohackathon? Or like what were you roughly imagining?
Yeah, so the most common one is to actually come up with some sort of problem. For example, trying to make more sustainable solutions to food production. And so we would actually have about 5 or so teams, maybe of 5 members each, trying to come up with a new solution. For example, again, meat, producing bacterial strains that can produce meat, or maybe producing medium that can ensure that the bacteria can produce meat, and so on.
I think the biohackathon you described previously, I don't know if you have attended before, we have been doing a so-called Hackspace project, which was an undertaking with a similar idea where students came to brainstorm ideas and then developed into projects, and that worked out really well. Have you heard about these before? Is this something you had in mind and just convergently described?
So I haven't attended the advanced Hackspace, I think. I'm just a second year, and so this year it's been a bit hard to attend things like that. But I did hear of, I think the team multimedia was from Make a Difference challenge. So I was thinking of similar to that. And also I attended some coding hackathons, like Technica. It was for web design. And I thought it was really cool that so many people come together to just challenge themselves and interact with each other.
Yeah. So
yeah, in fact,
sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, in fact, multimedia actually initially emerged from this SynBIC Hackspace project brainstorming meeting.
Really cool. Maybe we could encourage more of those to more of such companies to appear.
Yeah. So I think that's a very good point. I think so the reason we can't hold a proper biohackathon sort of series this year is because of obviously the COVID pandemic. But before this year, we have been running joint hackathon sessions with the advanced biohack space, and this year we had to sort of like re-engineer it into the joint launchpad and catalyze challenges with SynBIC UK. But yeah, definitely next year when things, well, if things reopen, then it would definitely be a great idea to sort of reboot the hackathon.
Also, I think biohackathons can run remotely as well. For example, Oxford did last week a remote one, and I attended Environmental Society's ideathon. It was 2 hours, just one day, but people just came up with actual solutions that can be taken to the union and implemented already. And I think we could do a similar one that relies more on ideation rather than actual running of the experiment, for now at least, while we have to run a remote events.
So did you attend the last term, in first term, did you attend the biotech launchpad?
No.
Yeah, so
wait,
that was
sorry, was that the one for Catalyze UK?
Yeah.
I did attend the first round, yeah.
You attended the first round.
Yeah.
So what you're suggesting, like how is it like sort of different from that idea? Like what sort of addition would you make to sort of that idea?
So I think a lot of teams were focusing on ideas related to plants. And I feel like it would be nicer to encourage a more diverse approach to solutions, because for me, plants are cool, but not my main focus of interest.
Mhm.
So I feel like introducing more different hackathons that actually focus on different, or maybe on different topics for each hackathon, but they are shorter, or maybe encouraging different teams formation.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Are there any final questions for Dana? If not, I guess we'll move on to the next one. Thank you very much, Dana.
Thank you.
All right. So the next person we have scheduled is actually Shirin, but she isn't here, I think. So yeah, we'll have to skip her. And the next one is again Liam, but he doesn't seem to be here either. So we'll move on to the position of undergraduate liaison officer, and the first candidate is Srinivas, and he was sort of unable to attend today, so he's asked for to have his pre-recorded speech shown. So let me just share the screen again.
Hi everyone,
Oh,
I'm Srinivas.
Sorry. Okay, can I just confirm everyone can see the screen?
Yep.
Cool. I'll start it
Hi
now.
everyone, I'm Srinivas, a first-year bioengineering student, and I would love to become your undergraduate liaison officer. I've been a member for the past year now, and my increased exposure to synthetic biology has compelled me to extensively explore the field of genetic engineering, from cancer immunotherapy to extracellular vesicle technology. The purpose of the undergraduate liaison officer is to increase engagement and closely collaborate with undergrad members to not only help you learn more about synthetic biology, but to also help you achieve your aspirations in this fascinating interdisciplinary field. My primary motivation is to create a safe, interactive, and undergraduate-friendly environment. I want to take this opportunity to expand a little bit on my specific goals as your officer. My first goal pertains to the iGEM competition. With a lot of undergrad interest in iGEM, I want to be a key player in the process of creating successful iGEM teams. Whether it be developing idea workshops, hosting team building events, or consulting with experts and past participants, I intend to go above and beyond to ensure that you have the best possible competition experience. Second, it goes without saying that at Imperial there is a lot of undergrad interest in research. To cater to this demand, I intend on hosting seminars or speaker events that focus on pursuing research at the undergrad and postgraduate levels. This will offer exciting new opportunities and foster various connections between the undergrad community and postgrad community. My objective is to give you a platform to develop your research interests within the society. Third, getting published as an undergrad is a major goal, especially if you want to pursue a PhD. Thus, I want to place heavy emphasis on educating undergrads about this topic, from revamping a weekly journal club to organizing workshops for the process of writing scientific articles and papers. I'm very excited about this because there are a lot of directions to go in. My most crucial obligation to you is to personally follow up with every single undergraduate member via email, text, hopefully in person soon. I genuinely want to be inclusive and support you and your endeavors with the utmost care. It's important to note that what I promise to do as your officer is not all limited to the above points I've made earlier. I'm a good listener, and your thoughts and feedback will better inform me about how I can best help you achieve your specific ambitions. Because I'm not here with you in real time, if you do have any questions for me, please feel free to contact me at this email address. I hope that what I've said resonates with your goals for the society and for the future. Thank you very much for listening.
All right. So that was Srinivas's presentation. As shown, he's happy for you guys to email him if you have any specific questions for him. All right, so moving on. The next candidate is Anna Schwarzenbach. I'm sorry, did I butcher the pronunciation?
No worries. I would also like to share my screen.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I muted myself, but I will give you co-host privileges.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, is everyone able to see?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Anna. I'm a second-year biochemist, and I'm running for the undergraduate liaison position. I joined SynBIC in my first term at university, and I attended a seminar with Dr. von Weiss from MIT on circuit design and programmable organoids. Because I could see myself working in this field in the future, I became involved in the 2019 SynBIC Advanced Hackspace competition. With fellow Imperial students, I co-founded the startup Synthesis, which is working to produce sustainable omega-3 for aquaculture using a synthetic biology approach. And we have been supported a lot by SynBIC throughout our journey. We have since participated in and won global scale competitions. I also really love to regularly attend the seminars hosted by SynBIC. Outreach to undergraduate students to promote the society-hosted talks and competitions, especially in an environment that may still be virtual, is crucial. I will work together closely with the promotion officer and contact departmental reps to virtually promote the society to undergraduates. During the Advanced Hackspace competition, when all our team members were still undergraduates, we benefited from the interactions with postgrads at the meetings, who were able to give us feedback on our proposals. If elected to the position of undergraduate liaison, I plan to work together closely with the postgraduate liaison and events officer, as the mentorship from postgrads is very unique to SynBIC because most other societies are almost exclusively undergraduate. As a whole senior, I am also in contact with undergraduates from a wide range of degrees, and I plan to tell them about SynBIC and the competitions such as AGM, where interdisciplinarity is key. Some qualities I bring to the role include being approachable, very organized, and having good time management, as I have been part of a startup and a whole senior alongside my degree so far. This has also honed my leadership skills. I am not afraid to reach out to fellow students and academic staff alike. For these reasons, I consider myself suitable for the role of undergraduate liaison, and I look forward to working together with the society. Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions?
Hi, Anna. Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation. So you mentioned that you want to sort of work sort of together with more postgrads and sort of help them sort of guide the undergrads. Like, do you have any specific sort of like plans on how you could sort of promote that? Because the postgrad undergrad divide is sort of, I wouldn't say it's sort of a hard barrier, but it is very difficult to get two groups sort of interacting sometimes. So how do you propose to sort of like change that?
I think the good thing we've got right now is that both postgrads and undergrads can attend the same events and the same competitions. I think the main thing we'd have to do is kind of promote an interchange and an exchange between the two groups. At events, I think we can, like talks, we can expand the discussion going on and maybe try to create breakout rooms with postgrads and undergrads in them. And I would also say for competitions, like I had back at the Advanced Hackspace competition, we presented to an audience of undergrads and postgrads. And so that feedback was really, really useful. and we could foster it that way, and maybe have competitions as well that are open, or hackathons that are open to both groups.
All right, thank you very much. Does anyone else have any questions?
How, so besides talking to people in real life, how would you kind of try to engage undergraduate people, like students from different backgrounds and stuff, just in general?
I think at the beginning of the year, the Freshers Fair is quite important, especially if it's virtual again, like working together with the promotion officer, try to make an engaging video, something like that, that can really make it stand out. Because this year it was quite a very long list of societies to click through. And something that would make SynBIC stand out there would be a good first step. And after that, mostly social media, if it's still going to be remote, we would largely have to rely on that. I think we could also reach out to some senior tutors that could forward emails about things going on at SynBIC to the undergraduate cohorts. And yeah, that way we could get some interested people going to our first events, and I think some of them will stay.
So one sort of comment I would make about that is when sort of publicizing, a lot of like the Center for Synthetic Biology, they're very open to sort of helping publicize our events, whereas academic departments, as you mentioned, senior tutors, they're a bit more sort of difficult to sort of request the help of when it comes to publicizing our events. So how would you sort of like frame it to sort of convince them that sharing our sort of like events are sort of worthwhile?
I think if we have the support from the Center of Synthetic Biology first, because we've had quite a lot of speakers from there, and I think they can also maybe use their influence a bit on the senior tutors, or if we name that we have the support of those people, I think that is a good idea. And just because a lot of the people in the Center for Synthetic Biology are also part of the Department of Life Sciences, and like that, I think the senior tutors will know those people and be able to forward it, or bioengineering as well. Like quite a few people from the Center of Synthetic Biology are represented there as well.
Right. So any final questions for Anna? If not, I guess we'll move on. Thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next person on our list, it's Shirin again, but she isn't here, so we will move on to Raymond.
All right. Hello, everyone. I've applied to the position of treasurer on the Imperial website, and I've been a member of the society for a few years, occupying positions of promotions officer and events officer, helping curate the seminar series. So I have some experience that of the inner workings of the society. I'd like to bring that to the next generation. I will be leaving Imperial College this year, so although I definitely would dedicate myself as much as feasible, I risk not having the reliability of someone who's studying here. So I'd like you to consider that, and if anybody else is interested for running for treasury, I'm more than happy to move aside. But if I do get elected, I will definitely dedicate myself to the best of my abilities. And I also noticed that another position that is lacking is the industrial external relations officer. So I might be running for that if the position of treasurer is taken by somebody else. And either way, I'm really happy to stay on and help the society grow and give my little experience. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks, Raymond. So I guess my question would be, if you are sort of going to be treasurer, do you have any sort of specific things you would do to sort of improve our financial situation, say?
Yeah, so that's another thing that I worry a little bit about, because I don't have such experience, and what I know is what I gleaned from the meetings. But certainly dealing with the union seems to be a very big issue. And another very big, another possible issue is the memberships, since a lot of our members are unofficial and don't acquire the membership, so it probably would push that a little harder in this position. And yeah, collaborations and maintaining the channels we have with the current sources of funding. So important PIs or important organizations.
All right, cool, thank you. Any questions for Raymond? All right, if not, I guess we'll move onwards. Thanks, Raymond.
Thank you.
Okay, so last but not least, Olive will be giving a presentation for her nomination as chair.
Hello, I am Olivia, or Olive. I'm a final year molecular bioengineering student, and I'm probably going to be starting a PhD with the biodesign CDT next year, this coming year. I was the leader of the iGEM team last year, and I'm also doing a master's project in synthetic biology. So yeah, I've over the years had quite a lot of sort of dealings with SynBIC, and then was on the committee last year. And I would want to kind of keep the biotech launchpad going as successfully as it has been in the last couple of years. And also, yeah, bring in more interesting speakers from industry, and just make sure that everyone gets exposed to the same level of exciting synthetic biology that I got to enjoy in my last couple years. And so this coming year, Imperial is going to be hosting an iGEM team, which they only do every 2 years. So it's quite a big sort of undertaking. And having experienced the recruitment process that SynBIC had 2 years ago, I think that worked quite well. And I would want to have us do that again in person if possible this year. And yeah, so that's kind of me.
Yeah, awesome. So I guess my question is like, could you sort of elaborate on how you think your experiences as iGEM team leader will help sort of in your position of presidency for SynBIC?
So typical sort of just team management kind of skills are always good to make sure that everyone is has something to do that's productive and is is able to do that effectively, and just to make sure that we're reaching our kind of goals that we set out with. And yeah, just from having some experience with that already, I think it would be quite manageable. And even with we had a pretty small team as a SynBIC committee this year, and I think it still worked out pretty well. So yeah, and also just being able to take other people's ideas on board with things that we want to start, or like new kind of ideas. This is also always fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Any final questions for Olive? If not, I guess that wraps up the elections bit of the AGM. Thank you very much, Olive.
Sorry, Brandon, 1 second.
Yeah.
I did not apply formally from the website, but I would like to run nonetheless. As I said before, can I give a speech now nonetheless?
So the issue with that is all elections will sort of take place through the union website.
I see.
So and we can't really add any people in for this session. So I think what might be best is for you to wait until the EGMs, since positions will definitely still be open then. And then at that point, we will be able to sort of take you on. We'll be able to hold our own elections where you can be added in. Does that sound all right?
Yes, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
I actually have another quick question. So, I was voting after hearing all the speeches, and one thing I noticed that there were quite a few positions that weren't occupied. So I wanted to check this, but do we have an application, the e-voting site for president and vice president? Because
yeah, so Olive is for president, but we don't have any applications for vice president. So if you're interested in the role,
because I think something's gone wrong because it doesn't show me that.
It doesn't show you that. So president will not show as president; it will show as chair.
Okay, good,
yeah.
Great, great news. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely,
and
definitely voted for that.
Okay, cool. Vice president, I think it should show normally, but maybe it only shows the ones that have.
I think we don't.
I did see it. I did see vice president, so it should be there.
I don't think we have one for vice president.
But yeah, we don't have for it.
I think we'll probably have to reopen some elections anyway. Also because I'm not sure if my CID will count as an imperial associated person, or like if we need that, then me and Raymond are kind of out. So
yeah. Same here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll probably double check those details, and hopefully by the time the EGM comes around, like those admin stuff will be clearer, and we'll have an idea of what to do. But we are definitely going to run a second sort of EGM.
Do you have a timescale for the EGM?
The EGM is likely going to be, I think early June is probably the best time to hold it. I'll double check that. Maybe we might hold it even as early as May. But I think we will definitely be giving an answer by the time the spring break starts. Yeah, we'll aim to have an answer out by then. But until then, we can't. Yeah, we're not really sure because I don't know if the union has a deadline on like when the EGM has to have happened by. So depending on that, it could be on a slightly different date, but it'll definitely be between May and June.
Thank you.
All right. So since the election stuff are done, there's the next part of the AGM, which also may not take too long, or it may take longer than we think. So if anyone has sort of any feedback on the general direction of the society or any sort of specific things that you'd want the committee to do, both the future and the current committee, so this is also your time to sort of raise it. So if anyone has any such concerns, please feel free to just unmute your mic and let us know.
Hey, I was just thinking about how the societies on union websites don't really have a long description of what the society is doing it. So maybe giving a link to a newsletter example would be really helpful to show people what is happening. Sometimes societies feel like they're empty when they have the same info for years and years. So maybe including something interactive would be helpful.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much, Dana. Yeah, that's certainly something we can work on. Even probably we could start doing it in the current committee, and then whoever like sort of picks up in the future committee can sort of pick up where we left off. Yeah, thank you. Right, so does anyone else have anything else to raise? So if not, then I guess that concludes our AGM. So I assume everyone has the links to vote, everyone has access to the manifestos. So go on the voting website, read the manifestos, and make sure to vote for your favorite candidates. And
or reopen nominations.
Sorry?
Or reopen nominations, in particular for treasurer. But
yes, that's The voting deadline is, I think, the 18th. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's 18th.
18th. I think it's gonna be midnight on the 18th or something like that. So technically you have until the 17th to vote, if that were the case. So just make sure you keep those deadlines in mind and yeah, vote for your favorite candidates. All right, if that's it, this concludes this AGM, and thanks for being here, guys. And I'll see you guys very soon. Oh, and final thing, we have a seminar tomorrow with the Computational Biology Society. Patrick Jones will be speaking. It's going to be amazing, so make sure you come.
Thank you very much. Great seeing you.
Thanks. Bye.
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 Great seeing you all.